Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brienne and this is Bree's Knits. So it's been a while, so bear with me if I don't remember exactly what I talked about last time. Life happens, so there's that. I think I also realized in the past few weeks that like any motivation I had to do anything other than my everyday things kind of just like out the window. But I feel like I can kind of feel it coming back. I continue to knit. It's just very like slow and steady and like not really rushing myself and really giving myself time to just like enjoy the process of everything. I did have some things that were on a timeline, and then once I finished those, I was like, okay, I'm good. But I hope you guys notice an audio quality difference because I got a new microphone recently, so yay. Very excited about that. I do have a few finished objects and a couple of works in progress, so I guess we can just jump right into it. I don't want to keep you guys too long. So yeah, let's just get into it. So my first-ish kind of finished object, I actually made two of these, and it is the Sophie scarf. I made one for my friend, and I made it for her birthday. And then I wanted to make myself one because I really love the color. And then I looked at the yardage, and I realized I shouldn't have been able to make a large and a small one from one skein. So I think my gauge was off a little bit. But honestly, like, I don't know if it was too big. I used the needle size, which is a 3.5 millimeter needle, and I used a DK weight yarn, which is what is recommended. But I mean, this one, I made myself a large one. You are supposed to be able to like do this kind of thing to it. The small one you kind of can, that I made, but it's not as like full like this. It's more like the little tails are like these. It looks more like a cravat than a scarf, I guess, if that makes sense. But I figured since the yarn was already wound up, I wanted to make myself one too. And also it just made for easier like reading knitting because it's just garter stitch. And so yeah, it took me a few days. I can't show you the other one because I just sent the other one to my friend. I mailed it out to her, so hopefully she gets this while you guys are watching. But yeah, the yarn is Dusty Yarn Co. It's from the Bluey collection. This red is called Keepy Uppy, which is inspired by their game Keepy Uppy with the red balloon, or is it a red ball? I can't recall at all. But here it is. The red is more like a bluish undertone, but it's very nice. It gave me like very luxe vibes, and I also am really into like dark academia styles, so it's like this would be perfect in the fall and winter, and then also like Christmas time, winter, like that'd be really cute. And now I'm starting to think more like I know the word gets thrown around a lot, but like intentionally on like my core pieces. So like this, or like I was thinking about like fall, winter. I'm not really a big beanie person because of my hair. But I have thought about, which is weird because I've thought about like bonnets, or like some people do like ear coverings where it's just like that. There's one that was like called 19th century or like Jane Austen hero or something like that. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I'd have to look it up, but basically they just kind of, I would have to move my hair around and maneuver it, but just an ear covering basically like this, beep, like that. So I would think like, I think that's more like me, I guess. So thinking about like stuff like that instead of trying to force myself into a beanie, because honestly I just tend to look like a skater boy with my hair peeking out, and like I have no way how to style a beanie in a nice way that makes my hair look okay, unless it's like I have the poofy poof hat from Jessie May and it's like fine, but then also like it bugs me too much and I keep lifting it and then it makes my hair more frizzy and then it like breaks all these ends, so I just rather not. But anyway, that was a long tangent of saying I made 2 Sophie scarves, but I can only show you one. And this one's mine. I do have extra, that's why I'm saying like yardage wise, I should not have been able to get this much out of it. I should have only been able to do a small one and then potentially like a bigger one, but I would have had to have kept my eye on how much yarn I had left, like weight wise. But I didn't do that with this. I kind of just got distracted and in the zone, so I just kept going until the numbers for the large one happened. So I have a little bit extra of that DK yarn as well. I'm probably going to use it. I have some extra pink. There are some DK weight socks that I want to make, so I'll probably use it for that as like an accent color or something. But yeah, there it is. It's the Sophie scarf by Petite Knit, if you are unaware of that. But it's a really simple garter stitch pattern with a I-cord all around. Yeah, there's really not much else to say about it. A lot of people have made it. It's pretty classic, I feel like, but there's definitely other scarves that are very nice as well. I was like in between that one and I think it was like the Victoria scarf. I still want to make that one, but I just felt like making the Sophie one for this color. My next finished object is a Penelope kerchief, but this time it's for me. And it's in some scrap yarn that I had laying around. It is the Sorella Yarn Co. Silk sock base. I had to hold it double because the pattern calls for a DK weight base. And the needle size, recommended needle size is 3.5 millimeters. So I used that. I did not gauge swatch because it's just a head accessory. But here we go. There it is. I've taken pictures of it and posted on my Instagram. If you have Instagram, you can follow me there. But this one is a free pattern as well. It's by Woolsome Knits. It's really cute. I didn't realize, I mean, I knew it was a lacy pattern, but someone in the project page had mentioned that they think it looks like a little strawberry. I thought that was really cute. I don't know if there's really much to say. I did finish up to, I forgot how many stitches it is for the adult size. I think it's like 88, but I continued to do a full repeat, so it was like 95 stitches. So it's slightly bigger than what the pattern calls for an adult size, but I just wanted to finish as much of the yarn as possible, which I did, thank goodness. So yeah, I have my little kerchief now. I want to make another kerchief, but I want to make the Romanticist bandana. I forgot who it's by, but I want to make that one next because it's really cute. And I also love a good kerchief. So there is that finished object. Another finished object I have is the Sanna cardigan. I actually test knit this one. I think I showed it off last time, but it was in its whip stages. The yarn I used for this is the Sorella Yarn Co. I think it's like their classic DK base. I believe I only use like 2.5 balls of yarn for this, and I'm typically a medium size 3 kind of thing. So yeah, here it is. It was pretty fun. I think the only thing, which I don't know if a lot of other testers had this problem. I don't think so, because I think they were all fine. I think I found sometimes doing the repeat, because it's like you don't always do a full stitch repeat pattern thing. So I have more of a stockinette section in the back, than others might. But I think also it just took a bit for me to figure out. I did that on one side of the front too. I did not do that on both sides of the front. But I think after I kind of like took a step back and looked at it and looked at the instructions again, I was like, okay, I realized what I did wrong and that it was actually a lot easier than I was making it out to be. Do I care that much? No. It's a really nice, comfortable, cozy cardigan. I really like it. It was a lot of fun to test. And I do like the pattern. I think if I made another one, I probably would make a cream one because I think this would look like so classic and stunning in cream. The needle size that I used was a 5mm needle size. Because the pattern calls for a worsted weight and I used a DK, so it's smaller, thickness. But then on top of that, like I knit tightly, so I had to go up quite a bit. I think the pattern calls for like 3.7 or 3.5. Some people said that when they use the correct or like the yarn that's recommended, they got it. They got gauge right on, but I had to go up to 5mm to get gauge. But it's beautiful. I love the lace pattern. The buttons I got were pigeon wishes. Let me see if it'll focus. Okay, there we are. There is the button. I have gotten, hold on. I have gotten, I have had Pigeon Wishes buttons saved forever. When I started sewing, I remember I was like, I love it. I want those buttons. But I never actually made anything that needed buttons to justify me purchasing them. And then now that I'm knitting, I have a chance to buy the buttons. So I actually bought a few of them, but I don't think I have them with me. I think last podcast I was going to show them and I was like, next time, but I don't have them with me, so I don't want to show them. You'll see them eventually. I have plans for using at least another set. These ones, I didn't even finish like the full pack. So I need to figure out what to do with that too. I have a family member that is their wife, their wife, he and his wife are expecting, and I was hoping, I was like, oh, maybe I can use these buttons, but I don't think I'll be able to. But anyway, you'll see them eventually. Whips. I have a few whips. One of them you guys have definitely seen before. It's almost a finished object, but not quite. It is my Daft Days cardigan. I finished one full sleeve. I am starting the other. I have to tell you guys, this cardigan has been a journey. So I know that in the pattern page, Rebecca does mention that a lot of testers realized they had to go up a needle size. I did try that first because I was like, you know, I have no reason to believe like I'm gonna get steered wrong, you know what I mean? But then, because I'm already knitting this in a 5mm needle as well, I think that's just because of my gauge, it was way too big. It was way too open. So I was like, okay, let me just do my 5mm. And I was like, maybe I should have done 5.5. But then I realized it is supposed to be slightly tighter than what I've been used to recently with cardigans. I've been used to really like baggy cardigans, but I mean, it fits. I am sad though, because I did not I wet block. That was my notes for today, but I did wet block the body when it was done and I didn't notice anything amiss. But then when I was done with the sleeve, I was like, okay, I need to wet block it. I wet blocked it twice to aggressively like stretch it and block it so it was somewhere where I was comfortable with it. But then the orange bled into the cream. And I'm really sad about that. I hope you can see that. Actually, let me just take this off. It bled into the cream, and I'm so sad about that because I did gauge swatch multiple times and I blocked it, and that never happened. And now it's like even on the like front panels as well, where it's sort of bleeding into the, oh my gosh, why? It's sort of bleeding into the cream. So that's pretty saddening to see. So not gonna lie, and maybe want to like keep this in the, what do they call it? The timeout pile. But I really just want to finish it. I want to wear it around the house. We do have central AC and it is on, and sometimes I get really cold. So I want to wear it, and I also want to finish it because I am tired of working on it. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it's fine, but now that I'm in the sleeves, I just want to finish it. I just want to finish it now. So there's that one. There's that whip. Another, actually, let me see what happened to my page. Another whip I do have is the Tiny Sea Shawls, Tiny Sea Shell Shawl. There we go. That's a bit of a tongue twister for you. Here it is, actually. Let me do this, and then I realize now my camera's on manual focus, so there we are. It is utilizing Explorer Knits and Fibers cashmere sock in the colorway Giant's Causeway. So far, my only complaint in the pattern, there are yarn overs. It's not really a complaint with the pattern so much as it's a complaint with my tension, because on one side my yarn overs are really loose, and on the other side my yarn overs are incredibly tight. So I had contemplated ripping this back, but you lovely folks on Instagram told me that it might block out. I have used this yarn before, and the yarn does block out beautifully. And the last time I made the shawl, I made it with 100% superwash merino. There was no cashmere in it. It didn't bloom as much as the cashmere does. So, but even then, like I noticed that it blocked out pretty nicely with the yarn overs on the edges at least. So I think it'll be okay. And everybody on Instagram told me it'd be okay. So I hope it's okay. And also better focus. Okay, anyway, I was up in the air before about making the shawl in a variated yarn, but I think it's actually looking pretty nice. I do like it. It's got like a stormy ocean, like not stormy ocean, like you're waking up to misty mornings, kind of like, I don't know, in California, usually around May, it tends to be really bright and hot and sunny. And our May month was mostly a lot of gray mornings. So it felt very much like this vibe. So that was just a little odd for me. I was like, what's happening? Is there going to be an earthquake anytime soon? It felt very earthquake weather, because then later on in the day, it'd be really hot. And then we just had a heat advisory. So it was like, okay, now we're like dipping our toes into summer. But anyway, that's one whip. I did stop for a bit just because I stopped. And also it's kind of hard to read and then do this one, because this one I tend to need focus. And that's just me, you know. But it's really nice. I'm enjoying it. This one's going to be for me. It's not a present for anybody. I had almost thought about giving my Sophie scarf to somebody, like as a potential birthday gift. And I was like, no, I like the color too much. I'm keeping it. But so there's one. There's another, sorry, this is my second whip. My third whip is like literally just at the beginnings. And I think I'm kind of pushing off working on it because I know it's going to take forever, but maybe after the Daft Days cardigan is done. It is the start of a Cami number 5 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. I've had the pattern for a while now, so I figured I may as well just make it. I was a little bit nervous though. I mean, I did do a gauge swatch. My stitch gauge was fine. The row gauge was a little like iffy, but I think I have a little bit more yarn than I need, so I think I'll be fine. So if I need to like elongate it or anything, I am using the Sanna's Garn Tin Linen, which is like linen, viscose, and I forgot what the other cotton. I don't know. I forgot what the other one was, but I'm using I think it's the recommended needle size. It's a 3mm needle. I did get gauged like this, but I am a little nervous because even with the gauge, it seemed very open. So we'll see. With singlet or like halter style tank tops like that, or like this anyway, I tend to really like, I have, if you're on my Instagram, you'll have seen it. With my ripple halter top, I tend to wear like this lacy bralette that goes on the side, or like it like peeks out from that one, and it tends to look really nice with it. So I was just like, oh, like maybe I'll do the same thing with the Cami number 5, but I don't know. At this point, I'm like convinced I just need to sew in padding for myself with some of these, because it doesn't really seem like those styles of bralettes are really, I don't know. I keep like keep an eye out to see if they're like trending enough that they're back in, even if they're like plain, because I know it's pretty common among sports bras, but I don't want a sports bra. I want it to just be a regular bralette, so that way it can just peek out slightly, or if it does, like if it is seen, it's like within the same shape, you know, so it doesn't really matter to me. But alas, I have not been able to find any. If you guys know of any that are like that shape of like the halter style bralettes, let me know, because I'm definitely looking for that. But yeah, I'm just starting on the left shoulder, I think it is. It's gonna take freaking forever. I feel like I'm not gonna have anything for the summer, but it is what it is. It stays pretty warm until like mid-November, maybe. It stays warm until then, and then it doesn't get cold really until December up until about March usually is when it's like pretty cool. So maybe I'll still be able to wear it. Is it in like the color vibe I'm thinking? No, but it's there. But anyway, so that's kind of all I've been working on. I don't have too much in mind of what to work on next. I have been thinking about revisiting, I have my husband's Moby sweater that I've had on hold for a long time. His birthday's in September, so I'm thinking about going back and trying to finish it as much as possible, or like working on it more often, because I know that is also going to be a labor of love, but I also want him to be able to enjoy wearing it. And he's also requested a cardigan because one of his cardigans is like done for. So I got my work cut out for me. I was going to do the pressed flower shawl, but I think right now I'm pretty comfortable with a fingering weight shawl. I think the pressed flower shawl I'm just going to move until maybe the fall. I'm trying to think of what else. Other than that, I don't really have any other plans of what to do next. I do have a yarn that's very colorful And I've been thinking of coming up with something for it, like an accessory. It is cotton and acrylic, I believe. I got it at my local yarn store and I thought it was really nice and pretty, but I have to make a swatch up for it. And do I really want to? Not right now. I kind of just want to work on all the other stuff. So I don't know if that'll happen or if that'll just get turned into like napkins or something. But I don't know. I'm just chilling. I'm just vibing with what we got going on right now. I do have, because it is summertime, I do obviously, like, not obviously. I feel like I need to stop saying obviously because I say it so often, and I forgot who pointed out to me that was like, it's not obvious for everybody. But whatever. There's a, I want more tank tops. And I have 2 balls of Knitting for Olive pure silk. I don't really know what I can make with that though if I have a 94 centimeter bust. And I think I've seen a few like the Knitting for Olive camisoles, or what is it, Cami number 4 or something like that. It's like the one that everyone's like, from My Favorite Things Knitwear, that some people are like, oh, maybe like only to sleep because it's like too loose and too like, I don't know. I thought about that, but also I don't know. I know that the Tulsa tank just came out, but when I looked at the numbers for the Tulsa cami with the like 4-ply weight, I think I do not have enough. I think I would need 1 more ball, which I guess could be fine. But I'm not sure about that. But it is 100% pure silk, so I do want to try that out as well. But I guess we'll see. And you guys will find out in the next podcast what I actually end up doing with it. So yeah, I guess that's it for now. I don't have any acquisitions. I'm really trying to keep buying on a minimum. So I think I'm doing pretty good so far. I mean, I did buy some from Paisley Knits, I think. Is that what Paisley yarn? She's in Canada. She just came out with like these really bright colors and I was like, I absolutely need them. It's supposed to be coming in July, I think. So next month you'll see it for sure. But that's it for now, guys. I will talk to you in the next video. Hope to see you soon. Bye.